Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. This is Gila Kurtz with Dog is Good on the Dog is Good Lifestyle Show. And we are checking our systems because we have had some technical difficulties. So if you cannot see me visually, hopefully you can see our lovely guest for this afternoon. This is Grace Bryden, and I will make our introductions here shortly. If you are new to this show for the first time, I am one of the co-founders and co-owners of Dog is Good, which is a lifestyle brand for dog lovers. So if you are a dog lover, Dog is Good is where you want to go. Everything for the human at the other end of the leash. And I'm super excited about our guest today because talk about an old soul. This is just a very lovely conversation we've been having before we even have gone live. And I know you're really going to enjoy what she has to say. And even I feel all people have wisdom, and she's really got quite a bit, as does her dog, Duncan, who will introduce.
Thank you.
Yes. So Faith says she cannot see anyone, but Faith, can you text and let us know if you can hear us? And then Christine is saying hi. I think you got some friends that are coming on board. So hopefully everybody is clicking in. And as you click in, please let us know if you can see us or not. And also share where you're from. And we are going to continue to do some double check on our end and make sure that it's all good. Yep. And my team says they can see and hear both of us. So I don't know what to tell you, Faith. I'm sorry. Anyway, as you pop in, let us know where you're from. And we're all good? Yep. Okay, cool. Looks like we're all good. So every week we do our live show, and we also do a giveaway. We started off with a giveaway. Thank you. So they can hear. Oh, you got lots of peeps on here, Grace. I love it. That's great. Excited. You got some #1 fans from Lori Lamb.
Yes, Lori.
Hi. Awesome. And Melissa's on saying, go Grace, go Duncan. So I'm glad your whole posse is going to come join us today. That'd be great. So every week we do a giveaway, and I want to invite all of you guys to enter the giveaway. It is our Dog Codependent, Where I Go, Dog Follows t-shirt. One of my favorite messages in our line, although Grace is wearing my all-time favorite, a dog continues.
Yes, this is my favorite. I love it.
It is my favorite too. I so love that. I'm so glad you're wearing it. Looks great on you too. So you can enter the giveaway in the link below, and we always post our winners in our private lifestyle group. So for those of you who are new to Dog is Good, come on over to the Dog is Good lifestyle page on Facebook, and you will be able to interact with dog lovers all over the world. And I see a lot of you have probably great Instagram accounts and various. We want you to come on over and join us there as well. And then lastly, one of the beauties, as you'll soon see with Grace and Duncan, is that we know a dog can change the way you see the world. We know this all too well. And because of that, we seek their wisdom at times in moments when we don't know where else to turn. And so every week, your very own dog can provide you with a source of wisdom and inspiration that hopefully can shift your thoughts and mindset and attitudes and behaviors for the course of the week ahead. And so to get your fur-covered wisdom from your very own dog, so you can do that too, Grace, just sign up at the link below, and every Monday something will pop in. And interestingly, the way the world works, the message from our dogs always seems to be the right message just at the right time. So you can enjoy that as well. All right, Rick Bale is online, and Lori Robertson. Lots of people, and Donna Levy. They're all Yay. Look how excited she is. It's great. So, we have been really looking forward to having this conversation with you too. It's such a bright, shining light.
Thank you.
You and Duncan together as a team just emanate life and energy and all things good. And so I know you'll have a lot of things to share with our audience. And I can't wait to talk with you about that. But before we do, I want to introduce you guys. I know a lot of you know Grace, but for those of you who don't, this is Grace Bryden and her therapy dog, Duncan, who is kind of camouflaged by the dog contemporary you see. He's very tired. You have to understand he had a big, busy day today. They were already at the hospital working and visiting, and then he had a little treat of the dog park fun adventure. So he leads a great life. And there's truth to that. I want to come back as my dog or maybe Grace's dog one day. Nonetheless, it's he's there with her, resting and relaxing. So Duncan is 8 years old, and he, believe this or not, some of you may not have ever been out of your very own state. Duncan has lived in 4 different countries outside of the United States. He's lived in Kuwait, Mali, Chile, and Ghana. Wow. I mean, this is a separate conversation. I want to know what that was like, the transportation, getting your dog into all those different countries. That had to be an interesting thing. Yeah.
Well, since he's a small dog, it's actually
Yeah.
like easier than if he was like a German Shepherd.
Right.
My dad will always call the airlines ahead of time and be like, "Can we take them?" And they always say yes. But then when we get there, there's always problems. So, you know.
I know that's an adventure in and of itself, and Lord knows what the countries require for you to bring those dogs in.
Yeah.
Anyway, she moved this past year to Florida. She is a student that attends Parkland, what's the name? Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. And this is where the tragic shooting took place in February. So, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm trying to read and look at you at the same time. I messed that up a little bit. But being inspired by the therapy work that other dogs have done in other locations, she was inspired to work with Duncan and help him become a therapy dog. He now volunteers all over libraries, schools, nursing homes, and here's the other thing that's so awesome. Grace is a budding entrepreneur and has created her very own jewelry line that raises money for all the Parkland shooting victims and their families. So we are going to make sure that we put the link. If you have a website for that?
Yeah, I do. It's on Etsy.
Okay, it's on Etsy. So we'll make sure that we put the link in here as well so that you guys can go check out her jewelry and make purchases that go to support the victims and their families. So let's start with Duncan, because Duncan, that's the good stuff. When did he actually become a therapy dog for you? Tell us how he came into your life and how you worked with him to get him to become a therapy dog.
He actually was certified in May. So, yeah, he was certified in May, and then he became a therapy dog in, I think, July. Like, the thing came in July. So, yeah, we've been, like, volunteering around that time.
Awesome. And how many hours a week are you guys working together outside of what you do at school?
It depends. Like, some weeks I work a lot, like, at the nursing homes and the libraries. Some weeks at once, but I usually try to do it once every week.
That's awesome. Because I know that service is such an important thing, particularly at a young age. And in the high schools, I know in our community, we are always encouraging the kids to get out there and provide some sort of service. So just the fact that you're doing that and getting out there, it really does make a huge difference. I know your experience. Let's talk for just a second about all the travel that you've done, because that's also unusual for a young lady such as yourself, unless you're part of a military family like I am, and we talked about that before going live. What was that like, moving to so many different countries?
Like when it first started, it was a bit of a adjustment for me, but I was at a young age. I was only in first grade, so I mean, I've been like, moving around for almost 9 years now. So I love doing it. I think it's a great experience, and Duncan loves it too.
That's awesome. What do you love most about the travel and the opportunity to be immersed in different cultures?
I think like meeting new people that I would never meet in the US. Like meeting new people at my school. I've made like some of my best friends overseas, and so I feel like if I never moved, I would have never met them. So I just feel like the people is what make like moving around the world so much better.
And do you have particular memories or experiences that just stand out for you as things that you'll hold on to forever and ever because they were so just unique or fascinating? Like, what were some of your favorite experiences, you and Duncan together, actually, in this country?
Yeah. Well, me and Duncan in Ghana, when we lived in Ghana, which is in West Africa, we had chickens, we had a couple goats, and I think that was really fun, like to see Duncan interact with goats and like to have my own goat. Like it was really interesting. I liked having all the animals and just like having it at my house. Like I didn't have to go visit a farm or anything. It was just like in my house.
That's awesome. Was that hard to leave them behind, though?
Yeah, but I knew like when we gave them good homes, like they'd be fine. I knew eventually we would have to leave them. Like we're not gonna get a goat into the states. Like
Right,
that's not gonna
right.
happen.
So, when you, after traveling all over and being in different school systems and interacting with different cultures, here you land in Florida. Um, what was that like? I mean, going from being overseas so long to now integrating back into U.S. culture and an American high school.
I think for me it was like a super hard adjustment. Um, just having because overseas you had to order things and it would take like months to get there. But being able to pop over to Walmart, like that's things a lot of people take for granted in the just I'm still so amazed that you can just go to Walmart and get whatever you want. Like I don't know, and also like I'm able to drive. I didn't think I would be able to drive until I was 18 when I would go to college here. But now I can drive and I drive to school, I drive everywhere. I think it's like there's a lot of things that people in the US have that I never had overseas and I see them take it for granted, but in like when I'm here, I'm just so happy to have it.
No, I know it's amazing what we take for granted, and until you do get the opportunity to go overseas, or actually, I mean, even from state to state, yes, the commonalities of what we can get on the fly is there, but just there's just differences, and until you get a chance to experience that, you do tend to take for granted what we have
Yeah.
available right at our fingertips. So I would imagine with social media, it's very easy for you to keep in touch with all the friends that you do have overseas, though, right?
Yeah, I saw my best friend last summer, so we keep in touch.
That's great. And is that somebody that lives there all the time? Born there, lived there?
No, she actually lives in Kenya, but she comes back for the summer like we did.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. So let's talk for a second on a little bit more serious note. I know that you experienced, as all the families did in Florida, a very tragic event. What I want to talk about, though, is not so much what happened, but what happened since, and how Duncan um, has helped you cope with anything that you have had to deal with as a result of that tragic experience.
Um, I think Duncan's just been like a great help to me. I think like after the shooting, I was really lost and I didn't know what to do. Like I never expected it to happen to me, like my first. But when I saw the therapy dogs at school, they were just so. I ate lunch with a dog named Daisy every day, and that like those therapy dogs just me. And I was just like, when I saw Duncan, when I would come home every day, I just thought he could do that too. Like he would be perfect for it. So him a therapy dog and seeing him help like kids and help them just like be comforted and stuff. When I saw that, it helped me with my own grief and guilt, and it helps me.
Okay, I understand. So he actually now comes to school with you. How many, in addition to Duncan, how many service and therapy dogs are present at the school on any given day?
Um, like I think every day there's probably about 10. I
Hmm.
would say.
And is there a particular area where students can go to interact with them, or are they roaming the schools? How does that work in the school system?
Um, this year it's been kind of different. Like last year they were just all over wherever you looked there was a therapy dog. But this year we have a wellness center, which is like where you can talk to counselors and stuff. And so sometimes they're in there. Like now we have actually a school therapy dog who is like a puppy now, but will eventually like become a therapy dog, and she just stays at our school. But yeah, there's like the courtyard where a lot of kids eat lunch, and most of the therapy dogs are there during lunch.
And do students, would you say a majority of the students are seeking interaction with these dogs on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think the therapy dogs are easier to interact with than her. So I think they're
I'm sorry,
way
I'm
more.
going to have you repeat that because you cut out a little bit.
Oh,
The
I
dogs are,
just said that I think the therapy dogs are more like easier to interact with than a normal counselor or therapist.
hmm, I could see where that could be for sure. Um, over as you're seeing the students interact with Duncan in particular, what kind of shifts do you see happen in those moments?
Well, I think like when I bring him to school, it's usually at lunch times. So when I see them interact with them, like every time they see him, they always get so happy and their face lights up. I think with every therapy dog it's like that. Like when I saw the therapy dogs at school, like it just made like I think it just makes your mood so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just love seeing that, like people being excited to see Duncan because I'm always excited to see him, you know. But like seeing someone else who's never met him and they're like super excited to see him, it's really cool.
I have, so it's interesting that you were saying that your school will have its on-site therapy dog all the time. Is that an initiative that your school is taking to add more so that there's just one for every grade, or how is it a program that they're trying to initiate there?
Um no, I think it's just one for the school. Like the librarian offered to like take care of the therapy dog or like be the owner, I guess, of the therapy dog. So she it was actually donated to our school. And yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So, in addition to your school, I know you go to a number of different places. You mentioned it very quickly at the beginning. Where are some of the places that you go, and how did you get involved in those programs, and why did you choose those particular locations to go?
Um yeah, well, I go to the nursing home John Knox Village, and I go to Parkland Library, and I volunteer at our school, obviously, and I'm trying to get involved in like hospitals and stuff now. But I don't know, I just chose those places because I felt like sometimes they're kind of ignored, like nursing homes, people, you just kind of ignore it. I don't know. But I have like I had a mentor who helped me um become a therapy dog handler, and she was volunteering there, so she inspired me to go there with her, and that's why I go there, because she goes there as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you? Let's talk a little bit about your jewelry business for a second.
Oh yeah.
Inspired that vision for yourself?
Um well, I actually started doing it in 5th grade. I did it in 5th grade, and my mom got it for me as like one of those stocking presents. And
Mhm.
I started doing it, and then once I moved, I just didn't do it as much. And then after the shooting, like immediately after the shooting, I was just, I don't know, I was watching the news all the time, and it just made me really sad. So I found my clay stuff under my bed, and I just started doing it. And then I thought of the idea to make like fundraisers that would be super beneficial to our school. So yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Number one rule: don't watch the news.
Yeah,
Most,
I know that now.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Massive negativity. No, I know it's good to be informed, but it's good that you found a way to break away from the day to day news, because I know that it can bring you down.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what kind of jewelry are you making?
I
You have
make a variety. I don't just make jewelry. Yeah, I have some examples. I'll go get them. But I make ornaments, I make keychains, I make earrings, bracelets, whatever.
And are you doing this custom so people can custom order?
Yeah, I do most of them custom, but I do have some pre-made. I'll go show you them.
And are you recruiting any of your friends to kind of help in the growth of this operation?
I don't know, not really. Like I have some of them advertised, like go um like see my business or whatever, but I don't really have them help me because I have like a certain way. I'm a super perfectionist, so
I can relate. I'm trying to become a recovering perfectionist and a recovering workaholic. Well, those
yeah.
are things to do. Um, so with the jewelry, I mean, how much are you turning out every day? How much production do you have to do to keep up with demand?
um, I don't know. Again, it depends on how many orders I had. Like last year I had a lot more than I do this year, but this year I'm more focusing on like I don't know, like pre-making stuff. Like I'm doing Christmas ornaments and stuff, and then like I just have different stuff. Like I still have the MSD fundraiser on my page, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten that many orders, so
So just a quick tips: make one of your specialty designs in whatever product form you want, and then pre-sell it to all of the people. So you take pre-orders for that, and then you can make two.
yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What is your favorite thing about hanging out with Duncan outside of the service work that you do? What um, type of fun activities do you enjoy doing? Just for you, just for fun.
Um, like without Duncan?
No, it could be with Duncan, but just
Oh,
something where you're not doing your therapy work or school, things that are, you're giving so much. I mean, you're such a shining light. You're clear. It's so clear how much a go giver you are as a human being and what a difference that you're making at your school and in your community. But what do you do for you? Like, that's fun that you enjoy besides those elements?
um, I don't know. Of course I do my business. That's like my main fun for me. I don't know. I just like creating stuff like that. Um, but I like going to the dog parks with Duncan. That's always fun to like see him finally be free and just like running around and having fun. I like hanging out with my friends, and going to Starbucks or whatever. Like just normal stuff that everyone likes to do.
So Grace is 16, right? And a junior in high school now. And
Yep.
she and I were talking earlier, so I'll just kind of throw those questions back at you so other people can learn a little bit more about you. Where are you looking to go on to higher education? And that's the question that my daughter, when she was your age, used to always roll her eyes. All the adults ask those questions. And then
Um,
when you're about done with college, everybody wants to know what you're going to do. So just
yeah.
stay on with us adults on that one. We talked about where you were thinking about going, and but more importantly, what you want to study. So I'd love for you to share that with our guests.
Um, I really want to go to Western Michigan University. I've been wanting to go there, I don't know, since middle school because I've always lived overseas and I've wanted to be somewhere close where all my family is and we're all from Michigan. So I would just love to be able to live with like my aunt and uncle finally and like be able to hang out with them. And I do want to go to school to be a nurse practitioner and eventually specialize in psychiatry, like a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I think when I eventually get my own dog and train him or her to be a therapy dog, it would be good to have in like psychiatric stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So there's a couple other questions I have as it relates to the therapy work that you're doing, and there's some questions popping into. The first question I have is, um, what would you advise anybody else, whether it's a student or somebody who's watching today that knows, hey, I have a dog that's a perfect temperament for something like this. What are the steps that they need to take to move forward in helping their dog become a therapy dog?
Well, I mean, honestly, if you think you should do it, I say you should totally do it. I think it's the most beneficial thing I've ever done. Um, I just love doing it. I think you should probably find a great organization that has good communication with each other. like can get you to places in need that need therapy dogs. And then more importantly, I think you stay out there and be like, I have a therapy dog, and get in like those therapy dog groups, and people can post about where like therapy dogs are needed. And I think that's important, just to know where they're always needed and like be there when someone needs you, you know.
Okay, that's great advice. Um, the schools. One of the things that a question that somebody's just asking, I think it's a great question. What do you do if a student is allergic to dogs?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I've never come across that. Like, I feel like we have some students at our school that are followed around by therapy dogs, um, and they're obviously not allergic, but mostly like the therapy dogs come at lunch. So I guess if you are allergic to dogs, it's in an open area, so I would just they just stay away from them. And if they're scared of dogs too, they know like not to go in that section because that's like the therapy dog section. So they know that ahead of time, like it's not just like thrown out there.
And when the therapy dogs came to the school to begin work, and the new dog, what's the new dog's name for the school?
River?
River. So when River first arrived, was there notification to the parents? I mean, what process did the administration go through to inform everybody and to ensure there would be no problem or potential problem like that, where someone either had a strong fear or allergies?
Yeah, they didn't really. I only really knew about River because I knew the person who got him, or her. I can't remember, but yeah, I only knew about that because I knew her who like adopted River. But since she's the librarian, River's usually in the library, so I guess don't go in the library, but I think if you are allergic to dogs, like they do walk River around. So if you need to get like be in the library, they can always like walk River somewhere else or whatever. It wouldn't be like that big of a deal. Like they're not gonna get mad at you or anything. So
Right. I think a lot of that, and I think you're right. A lot of it is self management. If somebody is very allergic, they just know not to be near the dog, but that the dander or the fur that would create those um, allergic reactions, if it's a dog that is not a hypoallergenic dog, let's say as a poodle or a doodle mix,
yeah,
uh, that they're just not present. So
yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
About our school therapy dog though is that it is a like Bernedoodle, so it is mostly hypoallergenic.
Yes, and Lori, who has her dog Daisy, I don't know what kind of breed she is, but it's some sort of doodle mix, I'm imagining, is hypoallergenic too.
Yeah,
So
yeah, she is hypoallergenic.
someone's asking about the therapy pig. You guys have a therapy pig there too?
We pig. It's I love the therapy pig. Duncan actually met the therapy pig and he was so confused. He was like, "What is this thing? How do I interact with it?" But it was just I love the therapy pig. Every time you walk up to it, it oinks at you. It's so funny, and you can feed it Cheerios and stuff. It's so nice. I love it. It comes to school sometimes, but I love it. I love it so much.
Is it one of the big potbelly pigs?
Yeah, it's like a miniature pig, but it's like still pretty big. It
Yeah.
goes in a stroller, so it doesn't have to walk or anything.
Oh, okay, I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
That was how often do you take Duncan to school with you?
Well, I've taken him once, and I took him at the end of last year because that's when he was certified.
Mhm.
But I'm planning to take him again soon. I've just been like super busy with school. But I'm probably gonna take him on Halloween and dress him up in his costume, and I'm planning to take him at least once or twice every month.
So he doesn't actually, and you've just clarified for me. I kind of thought for some reason that he was there with you all the time. And
Oh
um,
no.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
And the other,
I can't
there,
bring him to school because he's not my service dog, but
gotcha.
I wish I could.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions for Grace that you guys might have? Is there anything that you also wanted to share that we didn't get to talk about as far as, yeah, go ahead.
One thing.
Yeah.
So the therapy dogs, they all have their own trading cards. So I have like the biggest collection of them, and I'll show them to you.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. I love your room. It's just so perfect.
Yeah.
What does the sign above it say?
Above, oh, it says, love is a four-legged word.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wow, you guys have a lot of different therapy dogs that do come there. So these are not just teachers or families. They're, I mean, people are bringing these dogs in to work with you guys and to just be there, be present, be supportive.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Like, they all come. They're all from different organizations. Some come more than others, but every time I see a therapy dog, I'm like, do you have a dog card? Because I want to put it on my wall.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. How many students do you have at your school?
I think it's like 3,000.
Oh wow, that's big. So they have to cover a lot of ground, and that
Yeah.
one area, open area, that's where everybody eats.
Yeah, they can eat in the cafeteria, but mostly like by the time you get to the cafeteria,
Mhm.
the seats are taken up, so everyone eats outside.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you a few closing questions that actually have nothing to do with your therapy work or your jewelry business, which I think is brilliant. What is one lesson that you have learned from dog, that you have learned from Duncan, your dog?
I think that I don't know. I've learned unconditional love from Duncan. I think like no matter what, Duncan's always been there for me. Like if I'm crying, if I'm mad, like he's not gonna judge me. Whatever I tell him, he doesn't really care. But he'll always listen to me, and I think that's one of the most important lessons about a dog is that they're non-judgmental and always will always love you.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And when you think about that, as you're saying it, is that something that you're cognizant of during the day? I know what it means to be human, and we forget sometimes to be in that same space as our own dogs. But does it make you more aware as you're interacting with people about showing unconditional love and no judgment?
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think for sure, like as I've learned this from Duncan and any therapy dog that I've met or any other dog, I think I'm always trying to come off as non-judgmental and always there for anyone who needs me. Like no matter what has happened, I'm always going to be there. So
Wow. Okay, if you were a breed of dog, what breed would you be and why?
honestly, I would want to be a Duncan, like a Cairn Terrier. I think it would be a perfect dog. I would obviously, if I was a dog, I would want to travel the world. So, like, he's the perfect size for that. And I mean, he doesn't need that much exercise, and I'm pretty lazy myself, so I think it's perfect.
That's awesome. Okay, final question. Fill in the, it's actually a fill in the blank. Finish this sentence. Dog is my blank.
Like my dog or any dog.
Just how would you complete that sentence? Dog is my,
Probably best friend. Dog is my best friend.
oh, I don't know why I just want to cry right now when you said that. I'm very emotional sometimes. Um, Grace, you are amazing. You truly are an old soul. You are such a woman of service and a person who gives, who is eager to learn, who is eager to experience, and to share all the positive aspects of this experience with others around you. I mean, it's just so evident. And at the same time, you're still a girl with your pink, which I love. And I think that you are destined for some amazing success over the course of your lifetime. But more importantly, you're destined to be somebody who makes a world of difference for everyone around you. So thank you so much for being here. Oh, wait, one question. People want to know if Duncan has his own card.
Yes, he does. I'll show it to you.
Okay.
He's on my wall.
All right. We're getting to zoom in on Duncan's card. Here's Duncan's card. Yay! That's a great picture. Fantastic.
Thank
And then,
you.
and then also, people want to know how. Somebody wanted to know how old the pig was, or is.
The pig. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe 3 or 4.
Okay, about 3 or 4, yes, with the pig. So yes, and Lori is in agreement. Grace makes the world a better place. So thank you.
Love you, Lori.
And I guess Duncan has a coloring page too. She's asking you to show that as well.
Yes. I actually don't have it with me, but
No
yeah, I
worries.
can post a picture or whatever.
Well, Grace, you have been a delight. I've so enjoyed talking with you before we went live, really a chance to get to know what you're doing. And if you have a website, not just for the jewelry, but do you have a website for the work that you're doing with Duncan for therapy work? Do you post that anywhere? Where
Oh
people...
yeah, I have an Instagram for Duncan.
Oh, there we go. Instagram for Duncan, and we can post that in the notes here as well. So you can follow Duncan. You can request their services. You can support them and the causes that Grace is very committed and focused on, really making a difference in her community. So check out her jewelry. Big props to you and to Duncan and all the great work that you're doing at your school, and our best wishes and love sent out to all the school students, teachers, and families there as well. So, all
Thank
right.
you.
Have a great afternoon. Thank you guys so much for joining, and feel free to share this broadcast. Don't forget to join the Dog is Good Lifestyle group. Don't forget to enter to win your free Dog Codependent t-shirt, and sign up for your own fur-covered wisdom, because goodness knows, dog really can change the way we see the world. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.